work on resolving the augmented fourth to the minor sixth. And I just want to spend a lot more time on this because it's much more difficult than doing the diminished fifth to the major third. And the reason is, with this example, when we play a slur, which is a drop and then a roll onto these fingers, it's much easier to manipulate the second and the fourth finger and go up on it. In a case like this, if you're a beginner, it's very difficult to go up on your pinky. And the reason for that is because to go up on the pad, to slur to your fifth finger, you have to straighten it out, and that's called extension of the finger, and that's what piano power is all about, and the extensor muscles which allow that to happen. So I have to extend that finger, which is very difficult for a beginner because your pinky is normally there. So all of a sudden I'm asking you to put it there and hold it there, and then to do these subtle motions with it in that position. So this is what it looks like. We have a drop on the fourth finger, then the fifth finger straightens out or extends, and then we just roll up on it like that, but it's all timed. There's a lot of muscular control happening here because the finger just wants to come down, okay? So the best thing you can do to build this up, to build your fifth finger up to where it can do this, is to put a metronome on, say 60, and don't play any faster than a half note. So you do this. You don't even have to do this on a piano. You can do this on the surface of anywhere. Watch. Just go bing with your fourth finger. Bing. And the important thing is that you synchronize this finger with some other sound. That's the hard part about playing the piano. It's easy to push a note down, but when you have to push a note down at a very precise moment, that's what's difficult. Okay? So what I'd recommend doing with your fifth finger and the fourth finger is just go. And this is going to take many months to develop this. It just doesn't come. It's like going to the weight room and building up muscles. And then do the C to the D flat. And here, especially on a black key, you need a flat finger. Now the question is, why am I doing this? Why the flat finger on white keys? Well, the finger is normally curved. If I roll up on this finger while it's curved, let me just shut this off for a second, you're on the nail of the finger. See? So when you slur up to a finger, you have to extend it, and you want to be on the pad when you're finished. Okay? And then you go through all of the half steps. So you have this one, see? And you just keep going up. One. The slower you go, the harder it is. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Because my finger is waiting there in midair. See? 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's a strain on the muscle, believe it or not. It's imperceptible to you, but it is. And this is how you build a finger up. Just very slow. And again, you can do this on a tabletop, just as long as you're synchronizing, see? So this is how it's going to appear in the context of the tritone resolving out. Watch. See the fifth finger? And then I roll on it. That's really difficult to do for a beginner. Now, The thumb is a whole different story. And I'll use my left hand thumb so you can see. Let me come over here and let's do, say, okay, here you want to come down on the thumb and then you can't connect because it's the same finger. You can't connect these two notes. So what you do is you start lifting your wrist up and then you let go and you finish with a vertical thumb. See that? Watch. And let's look at this one. Here I lift up my thumb, I'm rolling forward, and then finish with a vertical thumb. Rolling forward, I lift up, keep rolling forward, finish with a vertical thumb. So it looks like this. And again, this is very difficult, the two end fingers, the thumb and the pinky, unless you're born, you know, some people are born and all the extensor muscles are hooked up nicely to the fingers, and that's what you find with prodigies, is they sit down and after like a few months they can play like someone who's been playing for 15 years. So most of us don't have our extensor muscles hooked up to where they function like that immediately. So with your thumb, again, watch. Drop, roll forward, and if we do this with time, watch. On, off, and I'm rolling forward, see? And I'm finishing, and I'm playing this. You might want to just do this. Take the thumb and move from your wrist. Believe it or not, the thumb is moving. The fingers are always the thing that are pushing down the keys and that precisely time the sound of the key. So even though I do all this motion, there's still a little motion in the thumb that's allowing this note to come down exactly when I want it to. Okay? Now at the outset, if you find that this is too difficult to do, for instance, where you're slurring up to these two fingers, and it's really hard for a beginner. Okay? What you should do then is just drop, pick up, drop, and then roll. Drop, pick up, drop, and roll to where your fingers are vertical. Both. So watch over here. Let's see if I do. See, my thumb is vertical. And the thumb plays like this all the time when you have big stretches. See, if you play an octave, I play a tenth pretty easily, but people who play octaves, look at how the thumb is playing. Look at how the thumb is playing. See? So it's playing like this. It's no longer playing like this. All right, so let's go through these. I think the best thing to do would be just to start on the second tritone, the inverted tritone. So we're going to do F and B and resolve it to an E and C. And I'm going to do the slurring method. If you can't do that, just separate them. Good point to remember is you cannot, if you're a beginner, do not connect chords. If you're playing more than one note and going to more than one note for the next attack, disconnect to it. Okay, that'll do more for your fingers than trying to go, oh God. Okay, because you just don't have the strength to do that right now. All right, so let's try from F and B, and we're going to resolve out. And we'll do each one twice. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again. Okay. Now we're going to go up to G flat and C and resolve to F and D flat. Ready? 2, 3, 4. Notice how I let go of the thumb? See how? And the top note gets connected. See? Okay. Now let's go from G and C sharp resolving out to F sharp and D. There we go. 3, 4. And I'll do it without doing a slur now. Finish high though. Okay, now we're going to go up to the B flat 7th one, remember? And then the inversion is A flat and D. Let's try 3, 4. That's it. And just do that a bunch of times. And again, if it's difficult, separate them. Just doing this is an exercise, believe it or not. Only if you synchronize. Only if you're connecting with some other sound. Otherwise, it's not. Otherwise, it's just random, and it doesn't put as much stress onto your muscles. Okay. Next one is A and D sharp resolving to G sharp and E. Let's try that. Here we go. 3, 4. Okay. And then we have the B flat and the E of the C7th resolving to A and F. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'll disconnect, watch. I'm going to disconnect, finish high. Now I'm going to do a slur, which is much harder. Good. And now we'll try the C sharp 7th one, which was B and E sharp, resolving out to A sharp and F sharp. Ready? Here we go. 3, 4. I'm going to disconnect, watch. Disconnect, drop, rise up. Disconnect, drop and rise up. Okay, here's the connected one. Notice how I let go of the thumb on the way up as my wrist is rising. Okay, that's good. Next one is D7th, the C and the F sharp, resolving out to B and G. Okay, try 3, 4. I'll disconnect now. Pick up, drop, rise up, pick up. Always doing this in strict time. The hardest thing to do is to play in strict time. Everybody in an orchestra does it. Everybody in a jazz band, they're all playing exactly together, and it's really difficult to do. Okay. Let's try going from the E flat 7th tritone, inverted, the D flat and the G, up to the C and the A flat. Here we go. 3, 4. Disconnect now. I'll disconnect and rise up. This is what you should do if your fingers are weak, and they probably are. Next, the E7th tritone. The D and the G sharp resolving to C sharp and A. Here we go. 3, 4. So, separate. I'm going to separate and rise up. Always finish with vertical fingers. Okay, that means your wrist is high. And then you float off the piano with a high wrist and everything is relaxed. That's why you do that. Okay, 2 more. We have the F7th tritone, E flat and A, the inverted tritone, right? Going up to B flat, D and B flat. Try 3, 4. And I just might add here that it's harder to slur up to a black key because it's high already. So that means that this fifth finger has to be even higher before it plays than if it were on a white key. See, I don't have to lift this as much. I can just straighten it out, roll up to it. And it is moving. It is doing a little up down there. It's imperceptible, but that's what controls the sounding of the note at a precise moment. Okay? So this is even harder now because the black key's higher. All right, so watch out for that. All right, and last is the F sharp 7th tritone. Going up to, so that's the E and the A sharp, going up to the D sharp and the B. All right, let's try that out. 3, 4. Now I'm going to separate them, which is what you should probably do. Okay, separate and then roll. Finish high on your fingers. Fingers pointing down means your wrist is high and loose, and then you just come off the keys like that. All right, so that's it for today. Next lesson, we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to add the notes and the bass, and then we'll be done with this. All right, take care until next time.